I'm Belinda Pachita. I'm founder of Columbiana County Families of Homicide Victims, or we are known as CCFHV. I started this organization 2 years ago. My cousin Michael Williams was murdered in 2005, and his case is unsolved. I originally designed t-shirts, and Channel 21 News came down and interviewed me for the design, and other family members of other unsolved homicides contacted me shortly after that and asked me to represent them as well. Basically what we do is we go out into the public at every event we can find, or they'll let us go to, and we make flyers and tell stories about all of the unsolved crimes in Columbiana County, mainly to raise awareness, to let people know that the cases are still unsolved. In Mike's case, we had this billboard up for almost 3 years on Route 11. And as soon as the billboard came down, we had to take it down because it was financially very, very expensive. As soon as the billboard came down, people assumed the case was solved. And obviously we don't want that. We want people to come forward if they know anything. We have a website that they can leave information on. They can leave anonymous tips on. All the tips that we get, we pass over to the police departments, and it's throughout all of Columbiana County. We have 27 unsolved murders in this county right now. Going back to 1969 is as far as we went back, and we have 3 missing people. For me personally, obviously, Mike's case is the most prominent to me because he was my family. However, we do have children that are also the hardest for me personally to deal with. We have, for example, we have 3-year-old Dalton Springer, who was beaten to death on November 17th of 2000. He was, Children's Services have been involved in his life pretty much most of his life. He had been taken out of the home and returned to the home, taken out of the home, returned to the home. He was beaten to death, had multiple blunt force traumas, and his mother and stepfather were the only 2 people in the house, and no one has ever been charged due to the fact that the prosecutor's office said that the mother said the dad did it and the dad said the mother did it, so no one has been charged. A lot of our cases are like that. We also have Christopher Joy Jr., who was killed this year. His father went to pick him up and for his visitation and found him looking like this. And he called the police department and told them he was not returning his son to his mother. And they told him if he did not, he would be arrested for kidnapping. And he had to go through Children's Services and do things the proper way. He took his son back, and 5 days later his son was dead, also a victim of blunt force trauma, multiple blunt force traumas. We are strictly volunteer. None of us get paid to come out here. My co-founder, Kim Mitchell, comes out with me to every single event. We work beginning to end, her and I, basically just spreading the word. We give out business cards that have our website on it that lists every single victim and their story in case someone has information on the cases they can come forward with. A lot of times we found, and we've actually been backed up by the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, that people are more comfortable talking to us as opposed to going to the police departments, because sometimes they feel the police won't take them seriously, or they don't know if what they actually have is a credible tip. So they'll tell us because we're family, and then we pass on the information. And our goal is just to get any of these cases solved. We are all about the families, because the families are the ones that are left here to suffer and have no closure and have no idea who the person was that murdered their loved one. And in some cases they do know, but the person's never been held accountable for it. And that's what we want to do. We want these people held accountable. We want them off our streets. We don't need 30 murderers walking around Columbiana County. And Mike started it all. A lot of people have a bad image of what a murder victim is. Somehow they think that their actions brought about their own deaths. We've been told many, many times that drugs were involved with every single case we have. Well, I know for a fact Mike never did drugs, so that was not an option there. And these babies that we have on here obviously did not do drugs. There is a lot of unemployment. There is a lot of drug activity in this county, which could contribute, I guess, to the murderers more so than the victims. But people need to change their perspective on that, because somebody gets murdered does not mean that they did something to deserve it. Mike has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of friends. They have had a really difficult time finding someone that did not like him, let alone someone that would murder him. However, it did happen. So that's why we just keep coming out here. We plug away. We fight everybody. We fight the police department sometimes. We fight the prosecutor's office, definitely. We fight the public opinion. We fight with each other. We fight everyone. But the bottom line is that the victims are what counts. They have a right to be remembered, and they will not be forgotten as long as Kim and I are around to make sure that the families, loved ones are not forgotten, all of them.